Dr. Jonette on Grow with Dr. Jonette. Today I want to share with you a quick, simple, and easy summertime dessert. In the summertime, it seems like sometimes we have a lot of extra fruit. Blueberries or strawberries, peaches, rhubarb, whatever happens to be in season. And it's nice to be able to make a fun, quick, easy, and delicious dessert out of them. So this is one of those recipes that you can use pretty much any fruit that you have. I happen to have some blueberries that I picked the other day, and I stopped by my neighbor who has a peach orchard and was able to get some delicious organic peaches that are now ripe. In fact, a great way to use up fruit that's starting to go a little bit. This one here has got a bruise, but it's starting to get overripe almost, would be to cook them in this type of a dessert. This is a super easy peach cobbler. Be sure you watch all the way to the end though for my simple and smart tips as well as my neuronutrition nugget today. Thank you also for subscribing, clicking the like button, and signing up for notifications so that I can continue. What this does for me is it helps me know what you like and what type of content you like to see. So thank you. It also helps my analytics so that I can continue to bring you great recipes, delicious content. So let's get cooking. Start by peeling our peaches. We need 4 cups of fruit, whether it's peaches, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. There's 2 ways that you can peel peaches. One is what you're going to see me doing here, which is to cut the peach into quarters, and if it's ripe enough, you usually can just peel the peelings right off of the peach. However, sometimes your peaches may not be quite ripe, and then you're going to need to blanch them first. Blanching loosens the skin from the peach. Basically what you do is you bring a kettle of water to boil, you put the peach in it and leave it in there for not very long, probably about 18 seconds only. It doesn't take very long for that heat from the water to loosen up the skin of the peach, and then the peeling of the peach just slips right off. In this peach here, I'm going to cut out this bruise that you see, and we're going to cut the peach into sections. Once I've sliced a peach, there's a couple of different types of peaches. One is where the slices will come right off the pit, which is my favorite type of peach. Or sometimes the slices don't want to come off of the pit and you have to kind of cut them off. These slices are coming off really easy. So we're going to just take them off the pit there. We'll peel up the other 2 peaches, and I'm going to add the blueberries to it next so that I know how much fruit we have here. We have our peaches all peeled, and it looks like we're right at 4 cups. Got 4 cups of peaches and blueberries to a saucepan, because what we want to do is we want to heat up the peaches and blueberries before we add it to the cobbler. What we're going to do is we're going to make the cobbler base, then we're going to heat up the peaches and blueberries, or the fruit, whatever your fruit is, and then you're going to make the cobbler base, add that on top, pour the hot fruit on top, and pop it in the oven and bake it. Right now I have my oven heating for 375 degrees. Depending upon how sweet your fruit is, you are going to want to add anywhere from about 1/2 cup of fruit up to maybe a full cup. If I was doing peaches and rhubarb or strawberries and rhubarb, I'd probably use close to a whole cup of sugar because the rhubarb is so tart. But it really is based on your preferences. The peaches are sweet, the blueberries are sweet, so I'm only going to add 1/2 cup here. And you also don't need to add any thickener. The extra juice that is going to be in the peaches and blueberries will soak into the cake, making it nice and moist. So let's get that on the burner here, and we're going to get that heating. What you want to do is just heat up the fruit until it's nice and hot and bubbly, and then we're going to just set it aside and make the base for our easy fruit cobbler. As you can see now, the fruit is starting to bubble. If you have fruit that doesn't have a lot of juice, you may want to add up to as much as a half a cup of fruit juice. Or if you prefer, you could add a quarter of a cup of brandy or sherry or something like that. That's also delicious. The peaches have so much juice though that I'm not adding any extra liquid to them. Now that they're bubbling, I let them cook them a couple of minutes, not that long, and I'm going to set them over here on the stove, and we're going to go ahead and make the base for the cake. Smell delicious already. I love fresh peaches. Base of the cake, what you're going to do is you're going to do it in two parts. You're going to have the liquid part and the dry part. We're going to start with adding the liquid parts or bowl. We're going to have 2 eggs, a half of a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of quick coconut oil. I like to use coconut oil because it's so good for you. In fact, let's talk about our neuronutrition nugget. We have 2 things in our recipe today that are what considered 10 of the top brain foods. One of them is coconut oil because it has the healthy omega-3 fatty acids in it that are so good for your brain, and it also has blueberries. Blueberries are loaded with antioxidants. Antioxidants help destroy free radicals. Free radicals destroy brain cells. So when you have something that destroys the free radicals, you protect the brain cells and you're able to prevent cognitive decline as well as dementia. Studies that have been done show that oxidative stress or free radicals in the brain are a big contributor to dementia. So anytime you can incorporate something in your diet that helps destroy those free radicals, your brain will thank you. And for blueberries, I call them brain berries. It's also delicious. We're going to start by adding the eggs to our mixing bowl. And our half a cup of sugar. 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I just kind of guesstimated. And 2 tablespoons of your coconut oil. You could use butter instead of coconut oil. It will work just as well. I love the coconut oil because it's good for your brain. And given my age, I'm kind of all about keeping my brain as healthy as I can. For the dry ingredients, you're going to start with a 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I like to use King Arthur flour in my baking. There's a link on my website to King Arthur flour. You can find it usually in most stores as well. I'm putting in about a half a teaspoon. Looked like I almost got a teaspoon there. I was busy talking to you instead of watching what I was doing. Half a teaspoon of salt and a full teaspoon of baking powder. You want to mix that in. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix the liquid part in the mixer, and then we're going to add the dry part. We'll pour all of that into our baking pan and our fruit on top, pop it in the oven, we're good to go. I normally would be using my hand mixer for this. However, I don't know what happened to one of the blades on my hand mixer. And I gotta tell you, this does not make me very happy, because my hand mixer is so old. It's great, but it's so old that when I went out to try to find another blade, they said that it had been discontinued maybe 10 years ago. So now I get to buy me another hand mixer, which is okay, but I really did like that hand mixer because it was so reliable. It would still work. It still works great if I could just find another blade for it. Maybe somebody out there knows where I could get another blade. So in the meantime though, we're gonna use my regular stand mixer instead of my hand mixer. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this up. And I'm gonna get a spatula over here. Because once you get it mixed, you're gonna want to scrape down the sides of the bowl and mix it a little bit more. As it is, you may end up with a few coconut oil lumps in it, and that's fine, that's not a problem. Stop mixing here for a minute. And I'm gonna go ahead and add the flour. You can add it all at once. A lot of times when I'm making a cake, I add it in portions. But for this easy cobbler, we can just add it all at once. Start mixing it on low speed, otherwise your flour is gonna come flying out of your pan, not out of your pan, out of your mixer. That's another reason I like my hand mixer. I don't get flour flying out of my mixing bowl nearly as often. I guess maybe I'm kind of old-fashioned that way. A lot of my kids, I'm not even sure they know what a hand mixer is. Maybe they do, I don't know. But they like their stand mixer. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down the side of the bowl because there is some flour along the sides of the bowl. We're gonna mix that a little bit more. Now you don't have to mix it so slow or worry about flour flying out. Great. See how quick that was? That didn't take any time at all. And we'll have it ready to go in the oven in time for dinner tonight. Even better. Scrape down the edges one more time and it'll be ready to go into the pan. For my simplest smart tip, I often like to line my baking pan with a little parchment paper. Whether I'm baking a cake or a bread, it just makes it so much easier to get it out of the pan. This recipe, it doesn't matter quite as much, but it does help it not stick to the bottom of the pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and I've already lined my baking pan with some parchment paper, and we're gonna go ahead and get the batter in it. I thought I'd give you one more SIS, Simplest Smart bonus tip for you today. What do you do when you have a leftover half of a peach like I have? Well, one of the things that I love to do is tonight we are going to be making some barbecue, putting some chicken on the barbecue. So after the chicken's barbecued, I'll take this peach, I'll peel it, take the pit out, put a little balsamic vinegar. Well, first of all, I will grill it on the grill, and then I'll put a little balsamic vinegar on it and serve it with the chicken. I love peaches, something a little bit sweet and fruity with my chicken. So I've gone ahead and put some parchment paper in here, and we're going to add the base. Doesn't make a whole lot, and that's fine. It's gonna puff up. It's also fairly thick, but remember, all that extra juice from your peaches is going to soak into it. All right, now we're ready to add our hot peaches to the top of this, hot peaches and blueberries. You can see there's a fair amount of liquid that comes out of them. In fact, there's enough there. I may not add all of that liquid to the dessert here. Definitely want to get all that fruit in there though. We're probably going to leave close to, you want a fair amount of liquid in it, but not quite as much as we had in there. The rest of that will be delicious for something else. I'll figure out something to use it for. I'm going to set that aside, and we're ready to get this in the oven. My oven's heated to 375, and I put it in the middle of the oven, and we're gonna cook it for about 30 minutes. Timer just went off, and let's check and see if it's ready to come out from the oven. It looks perfect. What you want to do is let it bake until about a half hour. I think I baked it about 27 minutes actually. And you can see it's golden brown here on the top. It's nice and puffy. The liquid is all absorbed and it's perfectly cooked. You might have also noticed that I like chickens. You can see I have a chicken trivet here. There you have it, our easy and delicious peach cobbler. Let's give it a try. Moist, not too sweet, lots of fruit, delicious. I hope you enjoyed this video and were able to maybe cook along. If not, go to my website at growwithdrjohnette.com and you'll find this recipe as well as other recipes that are easy, delicious, and good for your brain and your body. So thank you for clicking the like button, subscribing, and signing up for notifications. All of this helps my metrics and helps me know what you enjoy so that I can continue to bring you more of these great videos and hopefully entertain you a little bit with some of my stories as well.